Yeah, it hasn't shut up for me yet. Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go.
Meetings being live streamed. We
Mhm.
got it.
Oh shit! Hold on. I'm loud. Shit.
Yeah, it hasn't shut. How the fuck did you get to hear it before I got to hear it? What?
Because
Fuck
what?
it. What's up, dark judges, desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio, the one and only podcast bringing dread to the dreadless.
Broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
This is Heavy Metal Kid, and there was a time in our lives when we had intro music and advertisements and all that cool shit, but instead we're echoing, talking over ourselves here live on
That never
YouTube,
changes.
all for you, the listener, so that you can join in this week's exciting discussion.
All 400,000 of you.
Of the galaxy's greatest comic. Tell them about it, Johnny.
We're doing Prague 2292 tonight. We have the next installment of Judge Dredd's Special Relationship. Skip Tracer's here, but there's no words, so it was an easy read. Dexter's here, but there were words. Brink's here without words, and Jaeger.
Brink's here without words?
Yeah. Did you see any words in this week's chapter of Brink?
In Brink?
Yeah. You didn't.
Are we reading the same fucking story?
Yeah. Did you not? There's literally not a single word in this week's Brink.
Oh no.
What did you do? You didn't read, did you?
No, I got bad news for you.
You read the wrong one, didn't you?
No, I didn't read the wrong one. I'm pretty sure that what happened is what happened to me when my shit was all fucked up. Because let me tell you, Brink was incredibly wordy.
Oh my God. Look, I'm going to send you a shot. So you're going to have to walk me through it, bud.
You got no words in Brink?
I got nothing.
Oh my God. And I looked down for 2 seconds and the chat is fucking full, man. Douglas Morris, Mac Anorak, Chelsea's here. Paul's here, which means the SJS is in the house. Welcome, everybody. Why the fuck are you tuned into us? What? You do know this is Cursed Earth Radio, right?
They're fans of bad decisions.
Wait. You had no words in Brink this week, man.
Nothing in Brink and nothing in Skip Tracer. Did you have words in Skip Tracer?
Yeah, man.
I got nothing. Nothing. Here, they're coming across now.
Wow. Okay, so you had the same fuck up that I had not too long ago. Right. Remember when it was like, why is the fucking Prague laid out so artsy fartsy? And it wasn't. It was just the fact that it was all fucked up.
Yeah. Well, look at the.
Oh my God, you got raw art this week, man.
Is that not? You don't have that?
You were fucking wow. Brink got real mysterious for you this week. Yeah, man.
Shit. I thought it was just an artistic choice to build tension. Yeah. Did Skip Tracer have words?
Skip Tracer did have words.
Yeah, I got none of that either.
Well,
this is going to be a shit show.
Based on how we roll with Skip Tracer, I still didn't realize, even with the contextual clues, outside of that, plus words, who the fuck the guy was sacrificing himself. But we'll get to that. Yeah, man, I just sent Cool Johnny Cool a snapshot, and maybe we'll post these up on the some of our social media stuff because it's really fucking interesting. This week he got an entire Brink with nothing in it.
Yeah,
no words, no bubbles.
Wow,
nothing, man.
Yeah, here. Let me. I'm gonna put that on the Facebook page.
Yeah, post it up there so people can see it.
Yeah, goddamn.
Max says that Skip Tracer actually worked better without words. Yeah, it sure made it quicker for you to get through, Johnny. I'm sure. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Every once in a while, the Prague digitally, anyways, does some real weird shit. And me one week where I was like, man, this thing is laid out in the most counterintuitive, but also kind of artsy way. And here we are. Hey, I'll tell you what we did get. We might not have got words this week, but we got our fill of thigh armor, man. We have so much fucking thigh armor going on the cover of this week's 2000 AD. And shout out to the cover artist this week, who I believe was Cliff Robinson, because
Dylan Teague, because that is a dynamic duo that can do no wrong.
Oh, that's right. Colors with Dylan Teague as well. I love how he integrated the 2000 AD logo onto the ceiling.
Dude, I'm so glad you picked up on that because it is perfect.
Yeah.
And it totally, I mean, we still have two 2000 AD
I
logos.
was about to say that, yeah.
But I'll let it slide because the other 2000 AD logo is hidden. So unless you're looking for it, it's not there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love how it's integrated. I don't know why we need two. We don't need to. Look, we don't need to.
Here's the thing. Those are the swimsuits that the judges showed up in, right? That's what they swam. They have more armor now than they do on the streets. Is the Justice Department just trying to kill this squad?
Well, no, because look, how many times, Johnny, have you been swimming, enjoying your summer day, and you get a leg injury, a calf? No, that's your quads, right? I don't have muscles, so I don't know. Those are your quads. What are those? I don't know what the fuck those are.
What the hell are you talking about?
Your thighs. What are your fucking
muscles? Those are your quads.
Okay. Yeah. So you got your quad injury while swimming. Let's just fucking move on.
Nope. I want to listen to this. This is going somewhere.
Look, I went to the gym once and I called my friend. I said, "Hey man, I'm here." We were meeting at the gym. It was my first time ever going to the gym.
Were you lost?
He goes, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm out of my car." And he said, "Well, get in here. You can't work out in your car." And I said, "I'm afraid that I'm going to be working out on a machine, and then the lady's going to come over and say, 'Sir, that's the coat rack. You have to leave.'" That was my fear. Hey, we're getting fall of two things. Number one, we're getting Fall of Dead World, Retribution back.
I cannot wait.
The other thing, my pal Jason from Kentucky sent me a snapshot this morning, and he said, "Look what my local comic shop has." And guess what it was?
It was Fleetway quality Judge Dredd.
Oh, no, that's the local flea market. It was the Judge Death and Judge Dredd San Diego Comic-Con black and white twisty exclusive.
Oh yeah, I got the heads up that mine's being shipped.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fucking fantastic. So that's the thing that hit first.
Yeah, I gotta explain. Toys. Yeah. I gotta explain that one to my wife.
Man,
I lost track of all my pre-orders.
Oh God. The lucky part of this though is that they're so affordable comparatively to what they are. A lot of Dredd items have been in the past. So I know we talk about Haya toys like all the fucking time on here, but I was very skeptical, but here they are doing Grudd's work. So
I want everybody to know, and everybody remember this. I was on board from Jump Street, and you had your misgivings because you were afraid Fire wasn't coming to the party.
Well, because I was afraid the Fire wasn't coming to the party, but I certainly have Judge Fire PTSD from our good pals over there at A3 or 3A or whatever the fuck they were called. Great company. Also puts 2000 AD on their product packaging twice, but there's never been a more underappreciated 2000 AD character, including Walter, including fucking Chopper, then Judge Fire. Man, we got all the badges. No fear, I get it, but no Fire. We got no fucking Judge Fire in the 2000 AD.
They did make a Fire badge. You just don't own it.
I know, man, and that's one of the biggest. It's something that is going to haunt me forever because when I get into something, I want all of it. I want all of them. I try to fight back against that urge, but I'm never going to get my Fire badge. And I have really sort of become okay with the fact that I'm not going to get any of these black and white Dredd figures. And that includes the 3A ones and the Haya toys. I'm like, man, I don't need black and white variants, even though
you didn't get the SDCC.
I did get that one only because they don't make a standard color version yet. And I'm sure they will at some point. But I don't care for the black and white figures, man. I am just not into those. So
I usually don't either, but I have to. I have to support Haya because it's in my price range.
Yeah, man. So no, I've got everything pre-ordered at this point. So Haya Toys, I'd say there are probably some people in the UK that maybe already got theirs. I don't know though. Is it a UK company or are we getting it here in the United States?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive and wouldn't be shipped to distributors till after the con.
Oh, it's possible. Man, what a way to really not. There's got to be some kind of awesome UK Comic-Con that probably should have got their own edition. But hey, we'll take what we can get here in the United States, right?
I'm just happy to have a thing to get, man.
Yeah, same here. So we got lots of things this week in Dredd. How was Dredd for you this week?
I want to know who weird metaphysical Nosferatu man is and how he can change shape and why he's starting shit up. Is
it Palpatine?
I believe that's the same dude that Undertaker up out of the chair last week.
His face is very General Palpatine-esque, you know.
Very much so, but I'm guessing he can shapeshift for no good or discernible reason.
Is it Rasputin the Mad Monk?
Oh no, you're thinking of Fiends. He's already been dispatched once.
In that case, is it literally every villain from mythology? Because that's how Fiends rolls. They're like, here's your 17 villains for the week,
like a Russian nesting doll villain.
Yeah. I'm not complaining, by the way, because Fiends was good, but yeah, man, this dude, I don't know if we've seen him before. Maybe the chat can help us out. Is this some person that's shown up in stories before? He definitely doesn't seem familiar to me, but hey, maybe he's wearing a false face or shapeshifted into somebody.
And we are not known for knowing our facts. So
even when people look like themselves, we don't know who they are. And by we, I mean,
I was going to say that's half of the equation there, Buckaroo.
So what's going to happen between Dredd and our favorite Brit sit badass here? What's going to happen with this?
There's going to be a judicial pissing contest.
Yeah. I want to team up so bad, man. I want it to be these two veteran street judges start to go like, wait a minute, who's playing us against one another? What the fuck's wrong? Why are things so why doesn't this seem like it makes sense? And I want them to save the day together. I want to team up. I don't want strife amongst the justice departments, because I have seen Judge Logan. I believe in Judge Logan, and I think the judicial system is going to get better. So if Judge Logan can change, then so can Prune Face here, and we can all change. It's the Rocky IV speech again. Many years later, because the Cold War really never ended.
See, I think our mustachioed gentleman was either surprised that Joe was there or terrified Joe was there. But either way, I don't think he wants a straight-on conflict with Joe.
No, because he's like guns blazing, and all of a sudden he sees Dredd, and it's like he kind of recognizes it. He recognizes that it's Dredd, and I feel like he's like, okay, wait a minute. If Dredd's here, something's off. Dredd wouldn't be involved in this. He has that level of like, that level of respect, that mutual respect thing, that we saw.
But they did have a friggin' heavy cannon in the hallway and immediately tossed a grenade at the Mega City judges. So
that was before he recognized Dredd.
So he'll shoot up some judges, but not Joe.
Yeah. We got suggestions here in the chat as well that maybe Dredd's going to bully him into shaving that mustache. What if that's the trust act? Like,
that's a trust fall.
He's like, what are you doing here? And Dredd just keeps going, shave it. And then he misunderstands. We find out if there's a lion shaved into his pubic.
Oh, here we go.
And for those of you that are listening, because everybody treats me like I'm a fucking maniac when I mention this repeatedly,
you are.
Over and over. There's established canon that judges, female judges specifically, either have pubic hair shaved in the shape of a Justice Department eagle or a Justice Department eagle tattoo whose talons are labia. And I'm just saying, I'm not crazy for asking. I'm just observant for noticing, even though everybody points the finger at me. And then at the end, when this girl identifies herself as Domino, I didn't like it.
You didn't like the 1970s Roger Moore James Bond future car?
No
sequence.
I like this. I like what's happening here, but something about, Ebenezer Scrooge and Wrinkleface, and then there's this futuristic car, and
it's like a past futuristic car too. It's like what the 70s thought was futuristic, which I love that shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't want that. So that's just my knee-jerk reaction, though. I'm sure I'll be fine and I'll love it when it's over with.
Here's my theory about shape-shifting Nosferatu, Dick. I'm going to guess he is East Meg, like some kind of East Meg spy, some East Meg deep plant, with some really thorough camo and cover. And he is there. He's obviously agitating Brit Sit to kind of strong arm their way into the Atlantis rebuild to take the whole thing in order to chill relations between East Mega City 1 and Brit Sit and get sucker Brit Sit into dealing with East Meg.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably, it seems very, very likely. And so he's not even the person that they think he is. Yeah.
That was the most cogent thing I think I've ever said on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I didn't say fuck or wiener. So
yeah, good job, man.
Podcast Emmy, please.
Max says Domino is Mega City 1 Justice Department Black Ops agent Domino Blank One, featured in 2 stories way back in 2006. So there again, man, that would have been in a different mindset had we been even more versed. And God, sometimes I feel like we're well-ish versed on 2000 AD, and then I talk to someone like Mac who knows it all, everything.
Why are we doing the podcast and not Mac?
I asked myself.
We should be listening to Mac. Nobody should be listening to us.
I know, but like that would have been a whole different thing for me. I would have been like, "Holy shit, she's back!" But no, instead, I'm just like, "I don't like this. What is this? It's new."
In our defense, it's not new. It's old. Yeah. In our defense, we weren't weekly reading until 2019. We were picking up scraps in trades and collections in the stray prog that somebody over here didn't know what the hell it was and sold it at a comic book store.
Yeah, we've got quite a few of those, man.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're giving it our best shot here. Yeah, interesting to see where it goes, man. So you got no. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I actually read both stories that I had no words for while you were talking, so I'm good.
Okay,
I can multitask. I can have a conversation. I can split my brain and do 2 things at once.
And I'm pretty sure you were doing most of the talking while you were reading. So that's
not just an A-tier bullshitter, but I'm actually doing work behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, holy shit. So what'd you think of Skip Tracer Valhalla this week?
Okay, so they brought Mechanical Arm Man back only to have him make the noble sacrifice in the ship full of zombies. So Skip and other person who I have no tether to can further their mission. And then he shows up in Valhalla, which with what I assume is Skip's dead wife from the chapter, the last story we read. Am I right?
That's what I assumed as well. Yeah. So maybe we're on the right track there.
We did it.
Hey, you know what I did like about Skip Tracer this week?
Zombies.
I do like the zombies. They're kind of cool looking, but I like this big splash page where they used so much darkness and muzzle flashes and this guy being overwhelmed. I thought that was cool. I had really generally no fucking idea who he was or why his death was meaningful.
I think it was in the first Skip Tracer story that you and I read. He was like the quartermaster on the ship that we're on right now that Skip had abandoned when Nimrod. I was going to say Deathlock. I really wanted to say Deathlock, but it's Nimrod. When he first dispossessed them of the ship. And am I wrong, or is the Valhalla just a Mega City 1 block in space? Because it's got like a grocery store and an arms store and all this shit. And
man, I don't fucking know. I've got what's starting to happen for me is because for the past few weeks, we've been getting Skip Tracer and Dexter. And like, I've read a good amount of Dexter and Sinister previously. Right. So while I'm reading Skip Tracer, which, it's been a struggle. We've said that just because it's not our thing, but I keep almost like merging the two stories. So I'm just assuming, because what keeps happening in Sinister and Sinister Dexter is they keep going into these situations like, 1 week they're in a cult horror movie, 1 week they're in Peaky Blinders, 1 week they're in Friday the 13th.
Oh, the baghead. That baghead almost had both of us.
Yeah. So I'm like, when we end up in Valhalla, I'm just, my brain kind of put the two together because the same shit's happening in Sinister Dexter. People are dying and, but they're not dead, but it was a simulation. I'm just over both of these things. I'm over it. I'm good.
The portmanteau of both titles, it was exactly what you were doing. You were Skip Dexter.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that your favorite podcast in the world here, we're not super into the story in Skip Tracer, but I want to say something that we never really say for Skip Tracer, that Paul Marshall's art, I've always loved the art for Skip Tracer. Since we first read it, even though we're not into the story, I can get into the art. I love how it's handled.
Yeah, cool.
So I wanted to say at least one positive thing, and we're not bashing on it. We're not that podcast. It doesn't work for us, brother.
Sure. And I'll say something positive about Dexter, which is Dan Abnett is the fucking king of kings, but I don't like Dexter as a two-way positive and negative comment there.
Yeah, I mean, we tried. We've really tried. The most positive thing we have is we can now tell who is Sinister and who is Dexter.
Yeah, we're doing good on that, man. Brink,
so my freshly read Brink.
How did you manage to read it and make sense of it while anyone was talking in the background? Man, I couldn't do it. I could never do it.
So before my wife and I had our daughter, I was an avid reader. I've always been an avid reader. I could take down a 600-page book in a day and just buzz through it. So I know the world, and I can read and talk at the same time. My daughter can just read out loud, and that's it. She hasn't mastered. She's doing it right now beside me. She has not mastered reading silently, because if she's reading a book, the whole living room is going to hear what. But I was in my determination to get this read so I could be at least somewhat reliable on the podcast tonight. So Evan Ledden, who we thought was here to stir up unrest and distrust for nefarious purposes, seems to be working behind the scenes to expose Gentile now. Man, was he doing it the whole time?
Okay, for me, and I'm sure this is intended, but I'm starting to get paranoid about everyone.
So who's on whose team?
Yeah, man. Yep. They're like brinking me. Like I'm not sure who I trust. I'm not sure. Our main guy, our protagonist guy,
Maslow.
Nolan, who the fuck is Nolan? Oh,
Nolan Maslow. That's his full name.
Okay. Just making sure I'm on the right fucking. So, which is interesting. I've been reading about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in depth this week. The whole deal is like he's way more reassured and confident in things than I am right now, because like he seems to be walking into things that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a trap. Everything's a trap. Nothing's real. Everything's real. It's all true, and none of it is true. It's all bullshit. I'm pretty sure you're gonna die. I'm pretty sure you're gonna end up in a mental institution. Brink's got me paranoid this week.
In our defense, Nolan didn't read the last chapter of Brink. He has only met Bridget at the beginning of this story. So we have damage. And man, I really feels like Mr. Evan Ledden, the only name he's allowed to tell us right now, it really feels like he's setting him up for a fall. He's setting up Nolan for a fall because he's playing to his confidence. You work for the Herald. You are the Herald. No, I work for the Herald. No, you are the Herald. Oh, oh, he's kind of blowing smoke up his ass here at the end to get him to run this story that he's going to give him. And man, that really, really smacks of bait. And it smacks that last panel when they're walking up the stairs from the subway and Maslow says, I don't know, how do I know if I can trust you at all? And Mr. Ledden says, you're not supposed to, Nolan. And Nolan's got a shit-eating grin on his face. Evan's all in shadow, and all you can see is his grin. I know it's my paranoia, like you said, for the characters in this story talking, but man, it really feels like they're setting up a patsy. They're setting up a fall guy.
Yeah, man, it's almost as if the whole thing is going to wind up with our man in a padded cell screaming out, trying to tell everybody, no, it's all real. It's all real. Sure. Here's your medication. Like, I feel like that's where we're headed with this, man. Because, yeah, I felt the same way. It's like he's just like egotistical enough to believe that he's this great reporter, and like he's just egotistical enough to believe, even though the signs are there, dude, your lady is like, she can't communicate with you. She went off world. There's a distinct possibility that she's dead.
So you're back to that camp now.
Well, I just mean, it's like from his perspective, like he should be worried about these things. Instead,
he's chasing the story.
Well, yeah. Instead, his big thing is, well, I can't use her source without talking to her first. Like, motherfucker, you're assuming that everything is fine. Like, so the fact is, like, he's just kind of running into this whole thing with like, when you're convinced, like, oh yeah, he's like you said, it ends with him having a shit-eating grin on his face, but it also ends with the other guy with a shit-eating grin on his face.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's got the upper hand? It's not likely that Nolan has the upper hand here. He isn't shit. He really isn't shit. You know what I mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I mean, as soon through the course of Ledden talking him up to try to get him to run this story exposing Gentile and HSD for wrongdoings and misspent public money and trying to do nefarious shit, he's blowing smoke. He's stroking his ego. He's playing to all of Maslow's weaknesses, and he's suckering him in, man. And we as the reader can see it, but Maslow's just oblivious, and he see, I'm the opposite of Maslow. I am convinced I will fuck up everything I ever do, and I have imposter syndrome, or impersonator syndrome, where I'm gonna get found out. I'm awful at this. Someone's gonna figure this out eventually, and I'm gonna get laid out for what I actually am and what I can't do. And Maslow's the exact opposite of that. He's got the world by the tail, and he knows everything. And man, and I know 2 chapters ago we found out that Evan Ledden is not Evan Ledden when he came from the weird union ritual, and that lady called him another name, and he washed off all his bullshit, and he had a very nice apartment, and he was talking to his masters. So he's obviously duplicitous, or a double agent, as it is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you can't trust him already.
Yeah, which is interesting because, we had that little moment. And so it's like we had that little moment. So that level of it, and again, this whole thing is just like layers of fucking subterfuge. Like we have confirmed, like, okay, like, yeah, he's definitely not who he says he is. He's definitely a double agent. But like, how many times does that kind of flip back around? I mean, who knows? I'll tell you what it reminds me of, and this is why I'm so nervous, Johnny. It reminds me of, in the Flintstones movie, when Fred Flintstone let Barney Rubble cheated and switched Fred Flintstone's application to be in the upper management, and fucking Cliff Vandercave hires him as the guy who's going to take the fall for all the stuff that he's doing behind the scenes. It's the exact same scenario, just as dangerous. and I trust him just about as much as I trusted Kyle MacLachlan in that film. So I think we all know. I think we all know what I mean by that.
I honestly, I have never seen the live action Flintstone movies, and I honestly did not expect a Flintstones live action movie reference on this podcast tonight.
Well, if you want a good tale of, corporate, union-based, the big corporation versus the union, subterfuge, people taking the fucking fall, the Flintstones live action movie, man. That's where you get that kind of stuff because it's full of it. It's full of it.
You heard it here first, loyal listeners.
Yep.
So how was that for having read the damn story 3 minutes ago while I was having a conversation with you?
That's pretty good. I didn't tell you this, though. I watched the entire Flintstones movie while you were talking about Brink. So take that.
I honestly have never watched either of those ever.
Those are among my top favorite films of all time. And I think it's because I like to see a very amazingly literal and very faithful translation of that silly cartoon where they went, because we don't get this. I know this is I know no one thought we were going here, but we never get this in the world of pop culture where they're like, we're going to make a live action movie of it. Let's keep everything exactly the same and change nothing. But the Flintstones live action movie, man, they did it. And I'm pretty sure that was a fucking Steven Spielberg joint. I don't know if it was directed by Spielberg, but it was definitely produced by Spielberg. I'm sure it wasn't directed by Spielberg, but somebody like Spielberg was certainly involved, right? And
you're asking me because I have not seen any of this. Why do you keep deferring to me for answers?
Yeah. Unless, and now I'm questioning that because I think they said his name was Steven Spielrock or something because they did that in the credits too. It's fantastic, Johnny. Anyway, if the dude who directed that had been directing the X-Men movies, we would have had yellow spandex Wolverine a long time ago. So
I was going to talk shit on you for liking the Flintstones movie, but that's when my brain stepped in and went, "Hey, stupid! Remember, you like dumb stuff too." And I went, "Yeah, okay."
Oh man, huge Flintstones fan over here. Yeah, man. So Amblin produced it. Amblin Entertainment. Thank you. See, fucking Max knows what's fucking shit, man. I'll tell you,
man. He's even deep diving into the dumb shit we talk about. The non-prog related shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm paranoid, man. I don't trust anybody right now, but I think you're right. Our guy's way too confident this far, and he's fucking dug way in, man. Too many people know who he is. Too many people are aware of his presence. It's not
in wrestling parlance, he would be living the gimmick at this point. And I really feel that Ledden is definitely there to do what he seems to be doing, where he's there to diffuse tension and shift blame for his corporate masters who are trying to get off the brink.
Yeah.
So he's going to feed, my theory is he's going to feed Nolan bullshit data that Nolan's going to believe for some reason, because this guy's blown enough smoke up his ass about how great he is. He is there to stir up unrest and make the unions act weird so they can be blamed for all the Habsec violence. And nobody's going to look. Everybody's going to be looking at that while the Gentile corporation's getting off Hab into deep space. And I still don't get that play. Okay, we're going to get in deep space and leave you all to die, but you're just going to die in deep space.
No, I told you, man, last week, when it comes to this shit, it's all about the orgy. They're going to go in deep space and just have a floating fucking orgy. That's what it's all about, man. That's what the fucking unions are all about. That's what the fucking the aristocrats are about. I've said it from the beginning, man. It's eyes wide shut. That shit. That's what's going on. My dad was in a union. My dad was in the Ford Motor Company union. You know what? I'm pretty sure they just had nothing but orgies. Just auto mechanics, auto workers standing around firing barrels, having orgies.
Can you do an interview with your father about his time in the Union and the orgies he may or may not have witnessed and the cult activity he was into?
He probably knows some shit, man. Yeah, he's probably seen it all in his day. I guarantee.
But he can't, if he has, he can't talk about it because that seems like stuff you'll end up, with a horse's head in your bed.
Yeah, right. I know, man. That's how it works. Before you know it, fucking Ford Pinto runs into you and explodes.
Oh, my parents had a Ford Pinto when I was a kid.
Yeah, man.
All right, so totally off topic. We're gonna have a non sequitur here. If you listen to the podcast, you should be used to this shit.
Oh, if this is your first time, it's called doing a Cursed Earth Radio is what we're doing here.
So, where we lived when I was like 4 or 5. My parents kept getting the gas cap stolen off the Pinto. This is in the days before, the automatic fuel doors that we have where you pop them open from the inside and it protects the cap. So my dad's genius solution was to just wad up a rag and stick it in there. And it wasn't until years later I thought about that and went, what the hell were you thinking?
It's a Molotov cartel.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. He goes, what? And I said, you were driving me around in a Molotov cocktail on wheels. What were you thinking?
Man, I'm still over here trying to process the fact that you said my parents' Pinto's gas cap kept getting stolen. So you're telling me
4 times that I remember.
Who the fuck is losing their gas cap? Is it something where one person steals the gas cap and then the other guy goes, fuck, somebody stole my gas cap. I better steal this person's gas cap. And it just keeps paying it forward in a negative way. Or are there that many lost gas cap? How do you fucking lose your gas cap? I don't understand.
No, it was just kids stealing shit. And because the place I lived when I was real little wasn't the best area of town. Yeah. And teenagers would just terrorize the neighborhood I was in, hitting golf balls at the window, stealing gas caps, yada, yada, yada.
Man, my parents and I moved around a good bit when my dad retired, trying to work our way back here to the land of wonder and plenty, West Virginia, through
on
Cleveland.
Purpose, huh?
Now, on purpose, man. We were trying to get out of Cleveland and we kept going to a progressively smaller place, from a house to a trailer to a cottage to an apartment, all in the path of we got to keep saving money so that we can move back. Right. Well, when we got to the final one, the apartment in Cleveland, Ohio there, I swear to God, this is a true story. I may have told it on the show before. My mom and I had moved in all the stuff. And, I'm looking out the window over the neighborhood. We're at a pretty high story of this apartment. And my mom and I are talking. I don't want to move there. I'm sad that we moved there. We left my friends again. And, my mom's like, well, it'll be all right. And I look out and I'm like, well, there's a bunch of kids out there playing. Cool.
No.
And so we're chatting and we're watching a group of kids playing together, kids my age. And we're, just kind of talking about moving in, and slowly we start to see what's unfolding. And it's a group of 5 or 6 kids, and they're all kind of yelling at one kid. And then that one kid starts yelling back. And then they all start picking up rocks, like rocks, like stones. And this kid's running and they're stoning this kid. They're literally throwing giant rocks at this kid, and hits this kid in the head, and he's grabbing his head and he's running away. He throws a stone or two, but he's up against a goddamn firing squad. And my mom looked at me and she said, I'll rent you 2 video games a week if you don't play with those kids. And I was like, okay.
He took Bible study real serious in that neighborhood.
Yeah, man. I got bought out for the entirety. I think we were there for 6 months. It wasn't a long time, but it was we watched the public stoning, and my mom made the decision. Okay, I know we're trying to save money, but I'm going to keep you in the house playing your Sega Genesis.
Non-concussed.
Yeah. So thanks to the local rental spot for keeping me alive and without brain damage to this day. So great.
And we're both trailer park kids, you and I, right?
Yeah, man.
See, we have so much in common. We lived the same life in separate cities.
We did, man. And I can say as an adult, growing up in a trailer park was awesome. it was a fucking great time. You know, you got plenty of space to ride your bike, and you got jumps called speed bumps that you can, you know, take your bike off of. It's great, man. Living in a trailer park is a great experience.
Builds character.
Yeah, man. A lot of negative connotations, at least here in the United States, with people that live in trailer parks. But man, those are some great years for me.
See, here in Appalachia, the trailer parks that I grew up in had gravel roads. And what we would do is, in where I grew, the last trailer I grew up in, there was a road that turned off to our trailer, and then the road that went up a hill, both gravel. But it was a real steep hill. And my friends and I, during the summer, we would take our bikes all the way to the top of this fucking hill, and we would bomb the hill. And the goal was, once you hit the gravel of our road, was to lock up your brakes so you could leave the biggest like skid mark.
Oh yeah. Going.
And we never had a spotter or anything at the bottom of the hill. This was a fucking, like, when I'm talking blind turns, man, like downhill barreling blind turns. We could have died every day, like 10 times. And the last time I bombed that hill I had this 70s hand-me-down bike my parents bought at a garage sale for $20, had a fucking banana seat and ape hanger handles. And I came down, I locked up the brakes, and I locked them up hard. And almost every spoke in my rear wheel was just ripped out. Wow. I went ass over tea kettle over the handlebars and into a dead man's roll. got up, dusted myself off, and I told my parents. I was like, "Yeah, bike's broke." And they bought me. It was near my birthday that year. They bought me a Huffy pseudo BMX bike, and I rode that sucker until I could no longer fit on it because I was too tall.
Yeah, man. I had a very similar incident where, so just to give you a glimpse into how the Cleveland trailer parks with our nice paved roads and speed bumps were just as treacherous, man. I had a little crush on this girl who I had never talked to, but she was always in the trailer park. And one day I was riding my bike, and her house just happened to be right in front of a speed bump. And she and her two parents were sitting out on the porch, and I had my chrome dyno BMX bike, super proud of it. Thought to myself, I'm going to go do a sweet fucking jump and impress this girl, and then she's going to be my girlfriend, right? So I didn't factor in two things. Number one, I don't know how to jump a bike, and I suck at riding a bike. Number two, a couple hours before, the ice cream man had been around. I made a poor choice. I chose the pink sherbet baseball glove with the gum baseball. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So I go around the block once, and I come back around, and I'm about to hit that sweet jump, which is right in front of her house. And I'm going as fast as I can, going so fast. Anybody who's ever ridden a BMX bike knows exactly what I'm talking about. Going so fast that with every pedal, my bike tilts to one side or the other. I'm going that fast now. And I get to the bump, the speed bump that I'm going to jump, and I don't know what happened, but I immediately, like the hardest, like I hit an invisible wall. I did a front flip over my handlebars, and it slung me belly, like with my belly, onto the speed bump in front of this girl and her parents. But that was not enough. I hit so hard that I started puking immediately. And I puked out the pink sherbet as if I was puking out my pussy pink soul. And I was puking and crying. And like, I heard her like, you know, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I couldn't look at him. All I could do was cry and drag my bike all the way to the end of the street and around the corner as they kept yelling like, "Are you okay? Hey boy, are you okay?" I couldn't do anything but cry and drag and puke pink. It was terrible.
Oh my God. And see, that's exactly why I don't eat before a show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I am terrified of throwing. I've come close a couple times. I'm absolutely terrified of throwing up on stage. But oh my god, you know what? We were the Trailer Park Boys before the Trailer Park Boys were Trailer Park Boys.
That's true, man. Yo, Max said he once holidayed in a static caravan in Wales. Does that count? I don't even. What is a static caravan? I don't even know what that is.
I think that's the UK equivalent of a trailer park.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mac.
That would make sense. A static caravan. Okay, yeah.
Have you never seen Snatch or Lock? No, not the movie Snatch. Not well. Fuck.
No, I've never seen Snatch, man. I don't think I've ever seen anything from that director, which is crazy.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Also, you never seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
No, I have not. No.
Those are probably my two favorite Guy Ritchie movies. Snatch is hilarious. Brad Pitt plays a piker boxer, and piker would be like a hillbilly here. But he's got a really thick accent, and it's sometimes very hard to understand him.
Wow. Yeah, no, never seen it, man. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot.
You know what we should give a shot to? Finishing the Prague.
Let's finish the Prague.
Man, Jaeger, I love the art. Love the art. I'm very interested, very in. I want to know where we're going with Plant Man or Swamp Thing here at the end.
Plant Man.
He's like a hyper evolved Nord, right?
I mean, he's fucking Marlon Brando, man. This is Apocalypse Jaeger right here.
Apocalypse New.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fucking brilliant. Yo,
branding.
Tharg needs to, if they haven't already done that, man, they're totally fucking up, because that was brilliant. Yeah, man, we got a little mini boss fight here. we finally get to the final boss, but yeah, I was reading this thing and I just kept going like, yeah, man, this is Apocalypse Now. And even the guy, man, if you really just take a good look at Plant Man here, he's kind of got the vibe. He's kind of got the Marlon Brando look. So my only struggle with all of the stuff in this universe is always that everybody looks so similar that I have trouble figuring out who's who. I think they're going to do a better job in this one than in the previous Jaeger stuff we read, because there was one that we read where I remember I was just like, man, it's so hard to keep track of people, because they all, they're very limited as far as with their color palette and their wardrobe, but staying focused on a couple characters here, like right now, we've got one blue lady to deal with. And that's super helpful, because I do like this universe. I said last week, and I stick with it, like, this is I think the Rogue Trooper stuff is awesome, but it's a very hard universe to make distinct, as is evidenced by, we played Judge Dredd Helter Skelter, the board game, last week, and we were talking about, why the fuck is Nikolai Dante in here? And it's like, well, because if you do, Rogue Trooper, which is always number 4 of the big 4. It's always number 4 of the big 4. Who do you put in there? Because the characters are not super fleshed out and memorable, at least to the the new reader. I still consider myself a very new reader to Rogue Trooper, and I played the game. That's kind of just about my the most in depth I've gotten with it. The game's amazing, by the way. But
I need to pick that up. I was trying to find. I was trying to see if Dredd versus Death was backwards compatible on my Xbox One, so I could play it again.
Yeah. But to me, I don't know. I really like where this one's going. I feel like I know who everybody is. There's not been one second where I'm not sure what's going on. And that has been a problem for me before with Jaeger, but also because I'm a dummy. And I'm a Darwin Award winner, Max says.
There's only one blue lady in here now, so we know that's not Venus Blue Jeans. So I'm really eager to see where this world's going, where the story's going, what Swamp Thing's doing.
Yeah.
And the art is amazing. I absolutely love the art.
Yeah, it's all about the colors in this one for me, man. I really gravitate towards that color palette, and it just has a very like I said last time, I get the Rufus Dayglow vibe from it that he was using on the Bad Company stuff he did, and I really loved that.
All in all, pretty good prog. I mean,
Yeah.
still hopeless on Skip Tracer and Dexter, but
yeah, the middle's a weak point for the prog for me this week. But hey,
the paranoia and Brink more than made up for it.
It certainly did. Yeah, especially with your experience with Brink, where you were like, "Holy shit, they're not even doing words now."
Yeah, I thought it was some avant-garde choice for Brink because it's usually very verbose.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see where it goes, man. Good prog, good time to be a 2000 AD reader. It'll be an even better time when we get Dead World back in the prog.
Maybe we'll get a Defoe this fall.
Yeah,
somebody call Pat Mills, see what he's doing.
I wish they would just get on a nice schedule where it's like, oh, as fall comes around, we're just doing Defoe and we're doing Dead World and we're doing, whatever. We start going.
Judge Dredd story.
It just turns into a horror comic. I mean, they do that with the Christmas issue, so why not just start doing it around Halloween?
Well, remember when we got the house on Bleecker Street last fall?
Yeah.
That was amazing. And it's always good. And they always call in Nick Percival when stuff needs to be really, really nasty and unnerving.
Oh man, the great like mega powers right now in Dead World is Nick Percival and Dave Kendall. Like,
oh my God.
Those two, man. It's just and I always go back and forth on whose style I like more because I love them both. And
same, but for different reasons.
Yeah. But they're the guys doing that kind of like very disgusting, drippy horror comic realism. No cartooniness, like if you smudge a little Vaseline over your computer screen or your tablet screen, is that real? Is that a photo of a real dead body? I don't know.
It's Nick's stuff always reminded me of H.R. Giger, and not like in style, but just they both feel visceral and viscous. They're just wet, and I love that. And
Dave Kendall.
Kendall, yeah. It's his art. I love it because it always reminds, like, you could smell the decay just reading it. It's like being in a swamp on 100-degree day full of dead bodies.
Yeah, man. I put those guys in the other guy who's not a 2000 AD guy, but god damn it, he really should be. And I don't know why he hasn't been. This for me is Adrian Smith, who if you certainly have seen his work on Gwar, Violence Has Arrived. I mean, that's the album cover for Gwar. It redefined the images of those characters and made them look so much cooler than they ever can in real life. But and that says a lot because Gwar looks pretty fucking cool,
You can't go from that Adrian Smith Violence Has Arrived cover to the crappy group shot Photoshop Arial Black War Party cover.
Sucks. Yeah, I know, man.
God damn.
I know. Yeah, man. That, and I think I've mentioned it here before, but the Adrian Smith comic that it was like one of those things when I read it, I was like, man, it should be in 2000 AD. And for me, it's like the thing that replaces like Slain. And not saying that Slain needs replaced, but if it's not happening again, it's like I read his comic called Chronicles of Hate, and I always found it to be kind of unique because it was created by the artist Adrian Smith, who I don't think was typically a writer, but he does this Chronicles of Hate graphic novel that relies like very, very heavily on just the art telling the story, like what we thought Brink was. And it's very minimal in terms of words, in terms of what they have to say. It's all very like dark and gritty and black and white, and like it's about cannibals, it's about barbarians, and the hero of the story is a little snot-nosed, worthless goblin. And he's the servant of this like great mother, this earth mother kind of character, and he's trying to he's like the chosen one. It's amazing. And it's basically him trying not to be eaten by these clans of barbarians in what may or may not be post-apocalyptic world. It's super cool, but it's almost totally all told through the artwork because it's like minimal in terms of dialogue.
I love that stuff. If you can get art to convey your story with zero dialogue, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a very very strong kind of universe just based on the visuals alone. So much so that they did a really, really intricate, really expensive board game from the Chronicles of Hate universe with giant miniatures and lots of dice rolling and lots of nudity. And even in the trailer for the game, they said, fuck, going for the full on edginess, just cringeworthy with its level of edginess, but in a really fun way. So holy shit, yo, in the chat right now, Smith is actually working with Uncle Pat Mills on French graphic novel series, Bros, B-R-O-Z, Bros. If you have Shudder Horror Channel, they made a Guar documentary. Yeah.
Let There Be Guar. You have HBO Max, right? Of course you do. You need to watch the Adult Swim series Primal.
Okay. There's gorillas in this.
Yeah, it's no dialogue whatsoever. It's Gedney Tartakovsky from Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's so well done. Yeah. This caveman and this baby dinosaur become unwilling friend or unlikely friends, not even friends, but just partners trying to survive in this chaotic world. And it's super violent, no dialogue whatsoever. Everything is conveyed through the action. And it was such a good watch.
Yeah. It popped up because I've been watching, I think I told you this. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but I've been watching the Cuphead animated series.
Yeah.
I don't really watch anything like that. I don't like animation or cartoons very much in terms of like watching them, like comics, but for some reason I got it into my head that I just really needed to watch Cuphead because I like the animation style and it seems cool, and I played for 5 seconds at your house and I watched that, and so then it started everything was being suggested to me was like, oh well, how about this, somehow I ended up going down a hole and finding Primal. And I was like, well, I guarantee you that there's crazy monkeys in that, so I'm going to have to watch it.
You might not like what happens to the monkeys.
Nice.
There will be blood.
Oh, my God. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Don't get in between a Neanderthal and his dino buddy. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Man, I got to check out this Adrian Smith, Pat Mills thing, too, because that sounds fucking awesome.
How could it not be?
Yeah. So yeah, man, I don't know. Sorry, we did a little divergence there, but hey, people are advocating for more trailer park stories in the chat right now. So we
next
must have
week,
done okay. Yeah.
Next week, tune in for the second part of our Tales from the Trailer Park segment.
Yeah, man, I can tell you how my trailer park rose up against a bully and called him a test tube baby and made him cry next week. There we go.
Was that the one where you worked out with the Hulk Hogan workout kit beforehand?
No, that was when I stood up to a bully and it didn't work. Well, I guess it kind of worked. I've always wanted to meet Hulk Hogan so I could tell him that his workout kit saved my life, but not because the kid was afraid of me, but because he thought I was special needs after that.
I keep my eye out for a kit because I'm going to buy it for you one of these days.
Oh my God. Oh, I'd probably cry. I would probably be touched. There's one right now because I've done the search. Like I've told myself, I need that Hulk Hogan workout kit in my house. And on Hulk Hogan's Beach Shop, he's got one autographed for only $500.
Brother, but do you get to work out with him?
Oh my God. Yeah, man. I also know that if I ever got to meet Hulk Hogan, I would, tell him the story about standing up to the bully because of his workout set, and he would probably think I was an idiot. Because he's so tired of grown, out of shape men
Men
telling him how
childs.
much they loved him as a child,
That sounds great, brother.
Yeah, yeah, good for you. Yeah,
There's Jimmy Hart. There, Jimmy Hart. I don't know why he turned into the Undertaker there at the end.
He kind of turned into the guy from Sling Blade almost. So that's you're talking speaking in the voice of Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Now, does the workout kit come with the vitamins, or are those separately?
Those are separate. Yeah, it does not come with Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan vitamins, I'm pretty sure, are the kind that he was fucking around.
You got to go have a whole trial if you're on those vitamins.
Oh, well, that's the best episode we ever did.
Especially if you have no expectations whatsoever.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I guess there's only one thing left to say, right?
Yeah. Tune in next week. We'll let you know whenever that's coming. Yeah, we'll figure out some Trailer Park Tales for next week. And until then, I hit my head a couple of times in the trailer park, so don't work so good. Until then, I